Dear friends, welcome back. The machine I'm going to do together with you in this video would be Sunset, Sundown on the Vulnhub. The link will be added into the description section below so that you can download and play the machine if you want. Before we go ahead, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel and leave a like below. You're greatly appreciated. So without further ado, let's just get started. We have already imported the image into the VirtualBox. So now we can start our journey of pen testing, which is very funny, right? Now we can go inside the Kali Linux VM. First of all, we need to discover the IP address of the target. The utility I'd like to use, as always, would be netdiscover. As you can see over here, the IP address of the target could be identified as 191. So what we are going to do next, we need to do the port and service scanning with Nmap. To save time of this video, I've already completed before. So for now, we just cut out its results. As you can see over here, I use the options like scene scan, the version scan, the default script scan, and followed by the -p- to do the full range port scan. And the last option of all is on to output the result into this file. And as you can see, notice here, the IP address has been changed from the first time when I did the machine. So from the Nmap scanning, we can tell that the target has 2 open port numbers. The first one is 22, which is running SSH service or secure shell service, and also the version information. I think this version is not a very new one. However, I don't think we can find any vulnerability. The next one is 80, which is running HTTP service, and also the version information, Apache 2, and also from its default script scanning option, we can tell that the target has, or the site has, robots file, which contains one disallowed entry. And also we can be told the CMS, which is WordPress, even the exact version information. So I think before we go ahead, I'd like to check whether this version, I mean the WordPress, has vulnerability or not. I don't think we can find any vulnerability or exploit for this specific version of WordPress. So now we need to continue our enumeration with HTTP service, both manually and automatically. Let's fire up our browser of Firefox to do the manual enumeration first. Press enter. We got this page back. Yeah, it's so obvious that this is another WordPress site. And we can scroll down. Nothing special, right? And also we can check its source code by right-clicking the mouse, and you can scroll down to the bottom to see whether we can find something interesting or special. But nothing like that. And also we know that the target has robots file, but since we already know it's a CMS, so this information are not very useful. Okay, so next I think we can use Nicto to do the automatic enumeration. I always use Nicto as my first tool to make automatic enumeration when we deal with the web application. But in this case, nothing else we can get from the Nicto. Next, we can launch our GoBuster to do the directory enumeration. And we can use option of W to specify the word list. I always use the debusted word list as my first word list. Of course, in some case, we need to use, some other word list. But in most cases, this can work very well, okay? And also I use option of X to specify the extension option. Press enter. Although GoBuster can discover some directories or files like login, admin, WP, dash content, but all of them belong to the WordPress installation, none of which can bring us the possible vector, okay? So I'd like to interrupt it here to save time. So next, I think we need to trigger or need to launch the specific WordPress enumeration with utility WP scan. And we can specify the IP address or URL and use the option of E to enumerate. I want to enumerate not only username or possible username, and the P stands for plugins. Okay, let's press enter. Yeah, very quick. The user has been identified at the admin. And so what do we have to do next? We need to do the cracking for this user, right? At the admin, and we want to use the locale word list. So as you can see over here, this utility is performing password crack or attack. And of course, I don't think we can make it or crack it successfully. To save time, I'd like to interrupt it here. However, if you go back to the here, you can notice that the plugin has been identified and also give us the version. Then we can use the Google to make some research. And the first link, almost the first link, can lead to this exploit database website. And this is the remote file inclusion vulnerability. And if you scroll down, and you can get the POC, proof of concept. So how to test? We just copy, and then we can paste here. All right, press enter. As you can see, we successfully retrieved the content of password file, which means that this target is indeed vulnerable to this file inclusion vulnerability. And I think it would be better to view the information in the source code. As you can see over here, we can know that the target has this username. We can copy and just only one normal user. Since we have already confirmed the target is vulnerable to remote file inclusion vulnerability, and what can we do next? We need to retrieve more information. For example, naturally we want to see whether this user, the Carlos, has private key. Okay, so how to do? We can home Carlos and SSH private key, but nothing come back. And also we want to check whether we can retrieve or access the logger file. And then if we can, then we can poison such local file, right? To get the initial shell, but nothing returned. And also we can check whether we can access Apache 2 access log. We get the same return or response. And the next, we can, prepare the PHP reverse shell file. And we need to modify the IP address to our Kali Linux, right? And the port number. For me, I always change it to my favorite port number, 555. And now we can write and quit. And we can set up web server by Python on the Kali Linux. And then we can go back. Maybe we can copy this URL, because this time I'd like to check this POC to see whether we can access the PHP file on the Kali Linux. Not only access, the PHP file should be interpreted by or executed by the target, and then we can get initial shell on the target, right? And how to do? IP address of the Kali Linux, port number, shell. Although we got back the the content of this page. Oh, sorry, I need to set up the listener on the Kali Linux. Then we can access this file again. Although, as you can see, the file inclusion vulnerability works. However, this time, this PHP file, I mean the shell.php file, is regarded as text file rather than PHP, or is not executed by the PHP engine, which is not we want, right? So I think we need to find something else. So far, we have already done almost everything with respect to the file inclusion vulnerability. To be honest, we are a bit frustrated, right? So how to do? Although I think, not although, one fortunate thing is we have already got back the username. So maybe we can use the Hydra to crack its password, right? So how to do? We can, maybe I zoom in the terminal so you can see what's going on. Exactly, right? We can launch Hydra and the username with option of normal L to specify the username, colors, and the password dictionary. I will use the log queue and specify the surface and the target information. Press enter. Very quick. The valid combination of username and password has been found. And now we can connect to the target with SSH, right? Colors. Yes, and the colors. It does work, right? And next, of course, we can retrieve the user flag without a problem. And the next, we need to do some local enumeration. Only one normal user. We know that before, right? We knew that. My bad. This is the syntax error. And we can check its kernel. I've already encountered this kernel. Maybe it will be very difficult to find the corresponding kernel exploit. Okay, if you want, you can try yourself. For example, you can use such exploit to find the exploit for this kernel, and then you can use a compiler like GCC to compile it and then run it or exploit it. But I don't think it will work. Okay, so next we need to do furthermore enumeration like var backups. Nothing there. Go to www directory, bash history. However, permission denied. Only www-data has permission. Interesting. Of course, if you want, we can access this file by utilizing the file inclusion vulnerability. We can, print out the path. So we can, we can use this one, var www bash history. Just exit. Although we have already accessed this file by, exploiting the file inclusion vulnerability, but nothing interesting. So next we can go to the HTML directory, go to WordPress. Of course, I think if the target is running CMS of WordPress, after you can get the initial shell on the target, in most cases you need to take a look into the configuration file, and we can cut out the configuration file. However, permission denied. Again, we can use the same way to retrieve this file. Okay, no problem. We can print out the path, so we do not need to type in every letter manually, right? So we can paste in here. It will be better, this way. If we, view information on the page, from the page, would be viewing information from the page would be a bit difficult. So for me, I always choose to get information from its source code. As you can see, this is the original PHP file and the configuration file. Even we can get because the focus of this WordPress configuration file should be the collection for the database, right? So now we can copy this information, this password. So the database, MySQL, creates the root user. So what can we do next? Maybe we can, of course, we can log into the database, right? So how to do we can paste the password in here, and we can show databases, and then we can use WordPress DB, show tables, select or dump data from users table, admin. But I don't think this information is important for us. We do not need that, right, anymore. So how to do? Next, I think we can upload the NumPy shell script to do the automatic enumeration, right? And I've already got this file ready, this one. So next we can upload wget name-pairs. However, wget command not found. How about q? Q is there, so we can use q. So I'd like to emphasize again, as a pen tester, we need to grasp skills and techniques as many as possible. Name pairs and with option of O, very important. wget do not need to use the O option, but for Q, very important. And so we can use the same file name. We can make it executable to run it. And then we can run it. All right, it's done. Now we can scroll up to see whether we can find something interesting or even can give us the vector which allow us to elevate our privilege. So the interesting writable files owned by me or writable by everyone. Capabilities information, SUID. A bit disappointed, right? Cron job information. Some local exploits, but based on my experience, this would be very difficult. All right, nothing special. So next, I think we need to utilize we have already got the root access to database. So next, we need to utilize the MySQL to elevate our privilege. How to do? And you can use this website. You can use Google and make some search, which can lead to this website, Hatrix. This is fantastic website. And here we can use this way privilege escalation via library. So if the MySQL server is running as root user, right? And you can make it execute commands. For that, you need to use user-defined functions. And to create user-defined, you will need a library for the OS that's running MySQL. Of course, first of all, we need to get the library, the malicious library. Actually, in the Linux, we do not need to download from the internet. The Linux has this library. For us, we just locate. Maybe we just copy the command here. And maybe I zoom in the terminal, paste in here. So we can copy, for example, because we know the target is x64, and this one is for Windows. As you know, the target is Linux, right? So I think we can copy this one. Copy. And to the current working directory. So next, we can upload this library to the target. We can use the Q. And the file name or library name. Oh, I forgot the option for all. Okay, it's done. Now we can, we can log in to the database. And the password, we can copy password from notebook. And then we can use or maybe you can use another database, which doesn't matter, but MySQL is always there if the database is MySQL, okay? And then you need to create a table to load the library and move it to the plugins directory. So we can copy the command. No error, right? The table name is npn. Of course, you can use any table name and load the library inside the table. So we can copy. And I think, do we need to change the file name? Yeah, we need. So the temp, and we can copy the file name. Okay, no error. Wonderful. And then we can get the plugin directories variable, the value of this plugin directory. Yeah, this one. And the next we can dump in there the library, and we can copy. Similarly, we need to change the plugin name. We can copy from here. We must be very careful. Okay, press enter. No error. Good. So now I think we can create a function to execute commands. We can also, we need to change. Okay, no error. And then we can execute command. We can copy this command. This is a reversal command. We can copy, and of course we need to change, for example, like port number, another different port number, and the IP address of the Kali Linux. Okay, before I hit enter or execute this query or execute the command, I need to set up another listener, right? And now press enter. Hopefully no error pop up. Good. As you can see, we got the collection from the target. Maybe I need to zoom in the terminal. So then we can navigate to root directory and retrieve the root flag. So I think the major technique for this machine would be utilizing the MySQL, the root access to the MySQL database to load or use the user-defined function. To do that, we need to upload the library, which you can get it from the Kali Linux. Maybe you can get it from the internet. Then you need to, for example, you need to load it. You need to, you need to create the function, okay, or user-defined function. Then we can execute the function or command, okay. So that's all I'd like to do in this video. Hopefully you can enjoy some benefits, maybe just a bit. Okay, see you in the next one. Bye. Have a nice day, please.